2, 1. We are live. Friday Night Live. Freedom Squad.
Freedom Squad.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another Freedom Squad Friday Night Live. Like I said, we're going to try to do these about every other week, just depending on our schedule. You know how it's going to be when we start fishing and whatnot. I'm going to continue to do the lives on a Wednesday here and there when we have like a guest that's in the industry that, you know, I'm not taking that person away from their weekend, obviously. And so this coming Wednesday, stay tuned. We are going to have our good friend from Lose and Strike King back on the show, joining us Wednesday at 7 o'clock, I think we said. So be ready for that. We're gonna kick that one off. It should be a good one. But we've got everybody in the chat tonight. Chat's been on fire for about the last hour. I've been having a good time hanging out, chatting with just chatting with everybody coming into the show. But man, we are those, especially, I know a lot of y'all been down south have been fishing for a minute, but those of us up here in Indiana are about ready to start getting it on. It's getting closer and closer. I've had a lot of friends out already having good luck. Jeremy's already caught his first bass of the year. And, hey, it was just, he was out testing some baits and catch a fish. But it's the way it goes. I'm holding out. I'll be honest, holding out at least until after this coming next Friday. I've got my drone test on Friday. First thing in the morning, I've got my knee injection. So, hey, at least we'll get some of that going on. But welcome, everybody. As chat is already on fire. Gotta love that. Love seeing all of our friends in the house. I'm just going to do a quick scroll up and scroll back down and give a couple shout outs, and then we'll get into.
Don't shout out that Will guy. Will Junkin doesn't need a shout out.
Everybody, especially those fishing fam members that have been, hanging out. I gotta shout out everybody. We got Cool Granddaddy Sweets in the house. Our good friend Liza's here. Scott was here early. Liz is here. Says she lost like a 5-pounder a little bit ago. Says she needs to work on sharpening her hooks. You guys noticed the little background I dropped in behind us now? Just a little
I like it a lot.
Little faded glory back there behind us and around us all, because what better represents the Freedom Squad than American flag? I saw my niece Shurston in the house. She's in here. She was in one of the early birds. Scott. Yep, there's Scott. I mean, we had everybody kind of chit-chat. I'm just going to roll down and do this quick, and then we'll get on it too. But, I like to shout out those members that hop in and you throw a little back behind the squad. We saw Brian in here. Brian got his I'm calling them the bailout stickers. But everybody's get the world's most durable stickers in the planet from Fishing with Gramps. You put them on something and they're going to be there forever. That's for sure. They are made of the same material that they wrap trucks and boats with. So you get a set of those, you put them on, you're not going to have to worry about them fading out or falling off. That is faux show. Let's see, who else did I see in here tonight? Will Junkin, of course, we got to shout out Will.
No, we don't shout out Will Junkin. You got Daniel Pierce.
Daniel Pierce in the house. Josh. Yeah, we'll have to talk about that here in a minute.
Oh, who's this Sly Fox fishing guy?
Yeah, we got Josh, we got Brandon, we got everybody in the house. I saw my old fishing partner Mike Brock in the house. I'm still scrolling through. We got our Freedom Squad package winner. Saw that posted that up on the Instagrams. I think I made did I make a little short? I did something, or if I'm gonna do something. I'm so far behind on videos and everything else I got going on in the middle of trying to also. I'm gonna stop and pause and give out a special. Everybody give Michael Bradley a salute. First and foremost, let me get this other stuff out of the way. The very first, I got to turn the box around so I don't expose anybody's addresses. The very first Freedom Squad donation box for the veteran packages for 2023 arrived.
Freedom Squad.
Michael Michael wasn't kidding when he said he had been saving some stuff up to donate, but we have a full box of all kinds of exactly what we asked for, gently used goodies that we can turn around and repurpose and put into. But I mean, I can't show the label, of the box that it came in because we support American Legacy Fishing. But again, Michael, sir, thank you so much.
Thank you, Michael,
for the first donation of the year. Really, really appreciate that. That's going to go to a bunch of good homes coming up. Oh, we got Apley's Heart in the chat. We got all kinds of people going through. I'm going to scroll back down and get caught up. Yep, there's Mike. We got Tom. We got Fisherman 83. We got Bassin with Big Malone. Did I say hi to Josh Lanham? If not, there he is.
You've thrown Josh Lanham up there like 5 times.
Okay. You know how it is when you're old. You just kind of forget stuff.
Josh is just taking over.
Jeremy Hickman's in the house. Our good friend Daniel Pierce is in the house. Yeah, we got all kinds. Everybody in mainstream fishing already catching fish up north. Caught that 4-pound largemouth. Man, we're all down here slacking. He's up there catching not even a smallie up north. He is up there catching big largemouths. We got Frank in the house, just had a birthday. I was chit-chatting with them guys in Jermaine and Brandon's stream the other day. We got
happy birthday.
Yeah. We got our other youngest Freedom Squad member in the house. John Michael's in there saying what's up. You'll notice with the Hickman boys here, if you look at our various icons, they seem to be somewhat similar. John Michael's even got his own custom. We got our good friend Sly Fox Fishing in the house. Came to the boat show and said, hey, picked up his kayak. I know he's looking forward to warmer weather so he can get out. Oh, there she is. Miss Caroline's in the house. David's in the house. We got Silent One Outdoors. We got a good friend OEF5. Follow him on Twitch.
Oh my goodness.
My niece Sherston. I was talking to her earlier, Jeremy, about we got to get the boys out on bogs, go catch some of them crappie and bluegills.
Oh yeah,
and a little bit of bass fishing. When it warms up a little bit, we don't want the little ones out there freezing until it gets a little warmer. There's our Uncle Mark in the house. Gotta love that. Thanks for hanging out with us again, Uncle Mark. You make my memories every week. I'm sure everybody probably saw the post I made, which I do every single year since my sweet mama passed. But every first daffodil that blooms that I see, I take a picture of and I post it up in sweet memory of my mom and my grandma, because the daffodils were that was like their things. Every time the daffodil would start popping out of the ground, we knew spring was a coming. So every year, we find one, and it just means a ton to us. We've got our good friend Randy Newton in the house, co-host of the Kayak Bass Fishing live streams mostly on Tuesday nights with Mr. Chad Hoover. So Randy, thanks for popping in. Good to see you, brother. Oh, yeah, I think I'm all caught up. We've got Ryan Lundy in the house. Got to love that. He says he's going to hit the water tomorrow. He is one of our grubby anglers and state police officers up in India. And I got a lot of friends that are state popos. And, of course, you know us. We love our law enforcement. We love our healthcare workers. Speaking of healthcare workers, my sister, the nurse, she is watching the show with our pops tonight. So good on them. I think everybody tonight around at least Indiana, it's the calm before the storm, because IU plays Purdue again tomorrow.
Well, just so everybody knows, the Boat Sport and Travel Show is still going on. So if you're close to Indiana, there's 2 more days left, and it's the Turkey and Hunting Expo as well. So
they've got this time. So are the boats still there too?
I didn't even make it over there today. I was too busy because. If you guys don't know who Cole Ritter is, he is the co-host of Grubby Live. He just walked away from the booth today and just left me there pretty much all day. So I was stuck in the Grubby booth because there was nobody else there except me. So
excellent. So I mean, but that's still good though. So again, if you guys are around the Midwest area, around Indianapolis, check out the Boat Sport and Travel Show. It's the special area that we love. Now, of course, they're in the deer hunting and turkey hunting, which Matt's big into turkey hunting, and I've loved me some turkey, deer hunting. Never have got a turkey before. I didn't even really realize we had any around the state until they started kind of coming back popular a few years ago. But now I'm like, 100% fishing these days. But the kayak, what do they call it? The Heartland Kayak Festival.
Yes,
is the area where you'll see the Bonafide, the Old Town, the Moving Water Outfitters, and the Grubby and IKA and KBF booth right there in the middle of the show. So if you're interested in getting a kayak, I'm telling you, if you're around the Indy area, going over to the state fairgrounds, they've got 2 pools. Is there 2 still? Or
yes.
I never did go find the second one.
So Sun King Outfitters, which is another outfitter on the southeast side of Indianapolis on 465, big, huge boat area. They are carrying all of the line of Hobie craft, and then Moving Waters has pretty much everybody else.
Oh, okay.
They don't have any they don't have any Ascends or anything, but they've got Old Town, Wilderness, Native, Bonafide, and they got the one Jackson, but you can't get it in the pool, and New Canoe.
Yeah. So I wanted to recall that for real quick for Mike, because if he's talking about looking at getting a kayak this year, that is a great opportunity to go get in and test out in the pool all the various,
Seats.
What I like to consider big boy kayaks. I mean, for those of us that have grown up and expanded in age and whatever. I say that I can't pick on Mike anymore. He's lost a ton of weight since the last time I saw him. So we used to be a pair of big old boys that were fishing in a Ranger, but no, Mike, what I guess my point is it's a good idea to go, if you get a chance, to go up over there and hop in some of those, because they are basically the best kayaks on the market, and will definitely kind of give you an idea of seats and things like that, because it's hard for a lot of people to recommend different brands, because realistically, until you put your butt in a seat, you won't know what you like until you try several. And having all of the best brands in one area that you can kind of get in and jack around in, it's just a great opportunity. Now, Moving Waters later on in the year has days where you can go out and they'll set up like on a pond. But this is just an easy way to go, try out a bunch of different kayaks right off the bat and kind of see what you might think you might like right off the bat. And then they always make you a good deal because it's the Boat Sport and Travel Show. So why not? Yeah, Matt distracted me. I got lost.
No, your niece was asking me about my flag. So yes, it is a custom wooden flag that the owners of Shirley Fabrication, who built my huge smoker, which we need to back up a minute on that, gave me when I picked up my smoker. So if you guys haven't been following along on Instagram or anything, I may have some people staying at my house this week. And we may have had a little Freedom Squad get together at my house last Thursday.
Yep.
And we might have eaten some food. So, boys, why don't you explain what kind of food we had last Thursday?
First of all, I got to apologize to both you and Serena, because I was all hyped up about the fish and then loaded up on everything else and then forgot to eat the.
You didn't get any of the salmon?
No, I didn't eat any of it. I was driving home and I was like, ah. So, Jeremy, you want to? I'll let you start and tell them what you ate, because you've been sitting there awful quiet, just looking pretty.
Man,
Don't say something pretty.
I had some wings. I had pulled pork, and then I don't know what it was, but it was like this pulled pork that was in this wreath made out of crescent rolls, and that was, oh my gosh. So yeah, that's I stuck just with traditional.
You just stuck. You didn't try the salmon either?
Oh, I don't eat. Yeah.
You don't do fish. Okay.
No.
So
yeah, bass fisherman doesn't eat fish.
Well, that's all good. It's all good. Gene ate quite a bit of the salmon. Sandwich Searcher had some of the salmon. And your boy here messed up. I even had burgers too, and I messed those up because when I put the burgers on, that was about the time everybody showed up. And then I just kind of forgot about the burgers and didn't keep the fire going really well. And so we had to fry those the next day. But so we had a wonderful time. I posted one picture of all the boys without me sitting at my table. So there was Chad and Gene and Gramps and Jeremy and Sandwich Searcher, who was really technically fourth or fifth, because I think Ralph kind of slides in there at about the same time. Member of
Ralph and John Michael, and then Bobby.
But the problem is that
growing. Yeah,
Bobby's going to be the only one that's really fishing with us, because John Michael, he's just a wuss and not gonna. I mean, it's well, you know. I mean, he's obviously
he's going to be busy working and in school, but Bobby got the trailer. Bobby's going to be ready to go.
So that's what happened, and then we did the whole weekend. We had a fabulous meet and greet. Who all came out? I don't remember exactly who all came. I know that Sly Fox was there. Daniel, we met. I can't even remember. It was just a whirlwind.
There was. I'm so bad at names until I see them like 100 times.
Right.
Because we had Sly Fox, we had Daniel, we had
there was a bunch. Like it was really very nice to see that kind of support.
You know, and that's the thing. Cool. That's the thing I wanted to get better at down the road, is I want to start keeping like a little notepad so that everybody I do talk to that came up because they follow Fishing with Gramps or OEF5, and you know, or even our Freedom Squad channel on Instagram, you know, so that I can give them shouts out properly for coming up. And I mean, we talked to so many. You know, we were doing like a meet and greet. We said we were going to be there from like 1 to 3, but I mean, we were talking to somebody like all day long. I mean, and it was awesome to have so many people come up and just, you know, have conversations. And then there was others who were just like bass anglers who wanted to get into, you know, kayak fishing or asking questions about it. So, I mean, it was really cool. But I mean, we had so many awesome people that just, you know, come up and take pictures and, you know, everything else too. And that's what I love, because I mean, as cool as that is, I really can't get to a place, or I can't wait till we get to a place and time where we can do like a meet and greet where we can, you know, do some cooking, do some fishing, you know, have some of that too. So
that's the goal.
That is the goal.
Yes, Hook Life. I did smoke the salmon, and it was not oily, because we brined it and then we let the pellicule rise and then smoked it for 2 hours. It was really good. It's really
I
good.
love me some salmon. It is so good.
What else how in depth do we want to get into? I guess we don't.
I don't want to. I mean, realistically, I don't want to spend too much time on all that, because really we have a topic to talk about tonight, and we've been promoting a lot of other things too. That's but good. You know, it's just
Dude, I'm just telling you, the last week that I had was that's unbelievable.
I'm telling you, dude, you need to do some Twitch streams so that we can hop in there and that, and you tell these stories too.
Okay.
You've been lacking on the live streaming.
Well, let me tell you why that was not a good thing. NDA stuff. There was a lot of stuff that was being discussed that was NDA.
No. I don't mean while you were there. I mean like afterwards. Do a recap. So because I know that Solidus and J-Way and you know, a lot of people want to hear about that trip where you can kind of talk about what was going on, but you couldn't do it while you were there.
And then B, it was not family friendly. Let me just put it there. Let me just leave it at
that. Yeah, that's why I had to have Lynn on after the fact. Cannot post the video of our conversations on the water, because you know adults talk adult ways.
No, I know.
You know what I mean.
But yeah, it's I was very fortunate to be able to do what I got to do. So when we get done with the bait stuff, do you want me to show that now, or you want to wait?
Well, go ahead. Let's do that, and then we'll get into actual fishing conversation too. But
okay,
tell everybody where you went. And
I
then
went
what you
up
got to do.
just north of Chicago to KETCH USA. They are the official board for BASS, Hobie, BOS series, and KBF. Any local grubby tournament, the KETCH board is the official board. All right. So we've already talked about the carbonite and all that stuff. I was at their manufacturing facility, got to see carbonites being made 5 at a time in a laser etcher, all this stuff. And I happened to have our Freedom Squad logo on my phone that I could email them, and I wanted a fence made. So the board is basically a bump board. That's what they call it, but it is the official measurement device.
So let me show them this one again before you show the difference and then what you did. So you guys have all seen my America board. You know, it's the Stars and Stripes. I took this one with me to the Kayak Bass Fishing National Championships. Still see my sticker up there. And then Matt, you know, they only do these boards every now and then. But since Matt had a chance to go up there, he got to do something completely different that's even unique from the one that they sell.
So every July they come out with the America board, and they straight up said, "Hey, we don't have any on stock because we only make them at around July 4th." Okay, right? Because America Day. So I said, "That's cool. All I need, can you just make an in-fence for me that has our logo on it?" And they were like, "Sure. What color you want?" I said, "Red." My board that I purchased is blue. So they were like, "Yeah, we can do that." And I go back over to the R&D place where we're working on some stuff, and the sales manager and marketing guy and his cousin come back up and say, "Hey, we're not going to make the fence for you." And I was like, "Oh, okay, that's fine. You don't have time to do it or whatever. Or, you know, you don't want to charge me. I don't know." And they said, No, we're not going to make the fence for you. We're going to make you a whole new board. What color you want?" "Okay, we're just going to make you a board." And I said, "Okay, I want a blue board with a red fence." And so when it gets etched, it's red, white, and blue, but it's opposite of Gramps's. Okay, so see how nice that looks? And it has the Freedom Squad logo on it there. It has the stars on the outside, and then it says Freedom Squad right here on the side. And so this is an official measuring board that I will be using for the rest of the year. That KETCH made.
Probably the rest of his life.
Probably. Well, unless I get one of those 100 boards or something even better, you know, like a 10 board. But I posted this on Instagram, but this bad boy is A, official, and B, the new board for Salma Kayak. And they have this and know exactly how to make this. So if you get one.
Fisherman 83 said, "Definitely put a leash on that one."
Oh yes, yeah. I picked up a KETCH leash, and the little cheap one that I had before is gonna go.
Did you get the red, white, and blue one?
No, they didn't have any. They did not have any. Right. So, and basically the leash I got was for a paddle instead, because it's got they've taken 550 cord and made a 550 cord bracelet with a plastic clip on it that'll go around my seat. So
yep.
One other thing that came out of that too was I've got a bunch of KETCH stickers for all of us, but
be sure to check out his Instagram, because there's a lot of cool stuff behind the scenes where you kind of see where it comes together.
It was amazing watching this stuff being made. Like, everything's handmade. It's all made in the US, and like it's all hand assembled and hand packed. So like if you guys buy one of these boards, basically what they do is they put it in a plastic bag, and when it gets put in a plastic bag, they got bins of stickers, and the kid just reaches up, grabs any random sticker, throws it in, seals it, staples it, throws it in a box for shipping. Like, so it's pretty cool. I'd love to go up there again, but great.
Yeah, I think at some point we're going to go up and do like a factory tour when they're not so busy, because the purpose for your trip was for those guys to do some innovating on a pontoon kayak that they're building so that they can take disabled veterans that are in wheelchairs out on the water.
Yep.
And Chad or Gene or whoever can run the remote control for that disabled veteran and do all that too. And then they were doing some custom parts and stuff like that too. So if you've got a Hobie or an Old Town, they're going to be coming out with all kinds of custom like super, but we'll let them, that's their side. So we'll let them tell that story. But that was a really cool trip that you had up there. And then also knowing kind of the backstory, what they're going to be doing for disabled veterans down the road.
Just so you all know, KETCH as a company, their values, top notch.
Yeah.
Like seriously, it is 100% all about America. Like they're about it. Other than I have to throw this out there. Other than Duke's dad, who graduated from Purdue, and there was Purdue memorabilia all over the place. Like I said, the next time I come up, Irv, and his name's Irv. I said, Irv, next time I come up, I'm going to make sure I bring IU stickers. And I got cussed out.
Well, I mean, okay. I get it. Engineers, a bunch of,
I know, but it's okay. It's okay.
Yeah. Yes.
We'll just IU the place out.
It's another American small business.
Yes.
And obviously we want to support all the American small businesses and help us bring, our stuff back from other places and, kind of build the country back up where it was in the past too. But really cool trip. And I know you thoroughly enjoyed that.
I worked harder up there than I do at my job. We left one night at 1:30 in the morning to go back to the hotel room and then turned around and was back by 9. So it's crazy.
Yeah, we should have known this question was coming. Do we sell the shirts that we had on at the boat show? So we have been, and we were discussing this again today. Over winter, we're going to figure out what Freedom Squad's going to do. We're going to get together at some point and hash all this out. It seems like every time that we get to that point, there's always something else in somebody's schedule. Cause It's like, I really hadn't planned on going to the boat show, but how could we not? We had so many people that were wanting to do, like a meet and greet and stuff like that too. So we're going to come up and be patient with us. We're going to work on building Freedom Squad community up, but also a line of merch. And if people are like, you guys are just trying to capitalize on it. Realistically, what our goal is yes, to raise funds either for charity, but also for the events that we want to host so that, we're not coming out of pocket for a bunch of meat for Matt to smoke and things like that too. So we've got some different ideas. Have we hashed it out yet? No, we did work, with Matt worked with somebody and we came up with ideas and obviously came up with the logo with input from all of us. And, we love the way that it came out. And we have all kinds of different ideas, but it's way too early in the game for us to kind of figure out where we want to go. We know we want to build a community of people that support our homeland heroes and, us being 3 disabled veterans and, and having friends that are, either active duty or police or fire. You guys know the community we're referring to. So we know we keep saying it. We know we're going to do something and we're going to keep working on it until we actually do. That is for sure.
Well, I am going to be designing a new jersey this year. And that the shirt that you're asking about was our actual team jersey for last year. It's what we wore in the Turkey Bowl. It's what we wore at the national championship, but we're going to update it for this year. The problem with it is Warrior is that they are not cheap at all. Yep. Okay. And basically it was $90 a piece for us to get one of those. So it's $90 a piece. And I didn't charge, we had a couple extra made last year, but I didn't charge anyone for those. Right. So you paid the same price that I paid. And then I actually had to pay extra shipping to get it to you. So we're going to come up with something that is a new jersey for us, but then we may actually have, like Gramps said, an actual merch line where you can get hats or T-shirts or whatever.
Yep.
But yeah,
these guys will tell you I am not a jersey wearing dude.
No, he hated it. He hated every time I wanted him to put it on. Dude, it's good. He hated it.
I like T-shirts. I mean, you're right. I mean, if I'm out fishing, and wearing that, it's perfect because the long sleeves protect me from the sun. The hood protects my, I'm a T-shirt and hat dude all the rest of the time unless we're fishing. So I would much prefer wear, a t-shirt or stuff like that too.
Well-
but we want, yeah. But I mean, again, that's exactly what we want to do. We want to spread and build the community around the country. We've got Ralph going to California. We're going to have folks around all over the place. And, we like I said, we want to grow and build the Freedom Squad community, get people out there fishing, spread. Gramps was looking good at the show. Gramps never looks good, but, we had fun with it. I mean,
Jeremy looks the best.
Let me stop and say thank you to all of you, especially when I put out that Do It Molds video a couple weeks ago. So many comments noticing that my face is thinned down a little bit. Still working on it, still taking my time. I'm not in it for, a marathon. If I lose a couple pounds a week here and there along the way, that is the goal, obviously. But I want to be thin and stronger like these two gentlemen, so that we can do more boat shows and do more meet and greets. And Matt took a couple of wonderful pictures that I'm going to post probably tomorrow. And it was kind of like looking like Santa Gramps when I was in the grubby booth, sitting in a chair talking to three kids who just love to fish. And I mean, that was, I enjoy talking to kids as much as I do anybody else who's interested in fishing. But that was truly awesome, and I'm glad he was able to get those pictures, because it really captured a really cool, kind of moment. But again, we want to continue to use Freedom Squad to spread around the country and promote our version of recreational therapy to everybody who wants it and needs it. You'll see us, using various, venues to shout that stuff out, be it Catch 22 or Knucklehead Bass Fishing, or us going and participating in other people's, events like the bass tournament that's going to go on in Monroe in May for the Fallen Outdoors. So we're gonna continue to use all the various methods of fishing, even though y'all know we love kayak fishing. But it's fun. So we want to promote it to kids, to parents, to grandparents, and to everybody out there who who wants to join in the causes we believe in as well. Did I see that Liz was taken off to play? Liz is going to go play some softball. Yep.
Jeremy, you got any thoughts or inputs here? Come on.
Oh, I'm saving mine for when we talk about baits and what we're going to be using.
Oh, so the important
fish.
topic.
Yeah, well,
the fishing part of it. Okay.
That's what I'm here. The fish education, baits, why I do what I do.
There you go. Well, why don't you start us off with your first thoughts for we're finally starting to get. And I know there's been a lot of people. There's a lot of people that get out and they endure the cold and all that. I'm not one of them dudes anymore. I used to be. I used to, fish in the cold, hunt in the cold, but I've got so much going on these days that, every free minute that I have, I could be, I need to be doing something like, wiring up my kayak with the fish finder that's sitting out in the garage. But there's a lot of people around that have been out fishing, but we're starting to find those days where the highs are staying a little higher and the lows are starting to crawl up a little higher. And, we're not too far from the bass really taking off. So, Jeremy, you've already been out and caught one, but, what do you,
JT, go ahead and put the cam to you two. I'm going to step away for a second while he starts talking about the bass, and then I'll let you know when I'm back.
Well, that's three.
Well, that's
1, 2, 3. So the first thing I'm going to be throwing from now until after the spawn is a little underspin with my secret blue fleck remelt swim on bait. So that'll be for the river, for muddier or stained water. I'm going to steal yours before you get to it. Of course, the orange chatterbait.
So let me throw this up first. Diggs says he lives in PA and they were well over 70 yesterday. I'd like to point out that we were at 70 yesterday and then woke up to 27 degrees this morning.
Right. So I'm going to use a methylate. I'm going to pour some of the swim-ons and use a methylate off this chatterbait. There again, river and lakes, that'll work good. Got to have my little swim jig. And
Oh, yeah.
I put the little blade on the back of my swim jigs. I don't see a lot of people doing that, and it does help me catch a lot of fish.
Yeah.
Now, keep in mind, all of these that I'm doing have to be tied back to Monster Bass, the Monster Bass box. So I will definitely be throwing, the Sergeant by Thunderhawk.
Oh, yeah.
This time of year, red, lipless. It's a must-have. And, of course, the Alex Red little square bill in the, And then, last but not least, for me on the first trip out, suspending jerkbait. Suspending jerkbaits. If you can't get bit on anything else, they seem to do the trick.
Yep. Well, Jeremy just covered everything I was going to cover tonight. So thanks everybody for watching, and we'll see you next week.
Oh, I do have one other because see, I always have two square bills tied on.
Oh, okay.
But do we notice a theme with the colors?
Yeah.
Now
I'll tell a lot of people this when it comes to the color red. Red is the color that you throw when your water temps start hitting just above that 50-degree mark. And a lot of people will tell you that that's because, the crawfish are coming out of their winter holes. Crawfish never, just migrate and hide in holes all winter. But that's when they, 50 degrees and up, that's when they start looking for love. So they're out looking to do their thing. They're looking to spawn before the bass are looking to spawn. And they get a little red tinge to them when that happens. And that's why red is so popular. But I'd seen some YouTube videos where somebody was going on about, the crawfish are just emerging out of their winter or whatever's. Crawfish get eaten year round. But again, they do. So I'll go ahead and lay some of, where are you at? There we go. So I'll follow up what Jeremy said, and, flat side crankbaits, and that orange or reddish color. If the water's really stained, I'll also go with another flat side. This one's from 6 Cents. Chartreuse, again, this is more for contrast in, muddy water, because a lot of people, I see Matt coming back. A lot of people, when you think about it, you're going to run into a couple of different situations. If you're having lakes that are just coming out of ice out, they might be really clear because everything's been kind of still for a long time. But if, like around here, when you get caught by a ton of rain, a lot of those lakes are going to get mudded out because there's so much dirt and water showing up. And that's where your flat side and or chartreuse, that's why like a red eye shad from Strike King is really popular, as well. Apple wants to know what size jerkbait rod when you throw in a kayak. I throw the same one I throw in a boat, 6'10".
Yep.
I like the Dobbins Caden jerkbait rod, and I think that's Jeremy has the same one.
Yep, that's what I'm using.
And then if you're a Shimano fan, the American Legacy just actually got a bunch of these in 6'10". The X Pride B are another really, really, the previous version of the X Pride was one of the most popular jerkbait rods in the country. There's a lot of people that like that, but I'm a Dobbins fan when it comes to a lot of that stuff too. But I'm sure the Shimano one is really, really nice as well. But people get into the whole you're using 6'10" because you're standing up and jerkbaiting, but a guy like Jeremy will stand up in his kayak and twitch it the same way. Me, I've adapted to being able to do every technique that I could standing up. sitting down. So I still use that 610 jerkbait rod sitting down, throwing jerkbaits on it as well.
But there is a difference when you're sitting down working a jerkbait, because you have to kind of do it to the side and down when you're jerking it versus that whipping motion when you're standing up. So it's just you have to adjust a little bit. But if you picture in your mind what that bait does when you're fishing it regular, then apply it and just figure out how to make it do that when you're sitting down.
Yep.
So Gramps mentioned the red eye shad. This is the red eye shad. All right. So it is a flat side. It's got a really scooped bill. And then if you go back to the OG stuff, you got the chrome and orange. Like, so this bait, even in some stained water, will be really good as well. And it's just the rattle trap for spring. And then you can't go wrong with a fireside crawl at all, ever.
Yep.
Square bill.
And there's so many, Strike King, 6 Cents, Berkeley, everybody makes them in those, popular colors. Hey, whatever your favorite brand is, as long as it's, you can go with the flat sides, you go with the lipless crankbaits. Both of them work really well. Some people like the lipless because they want to control the depth by lifting up and down. So they all work. Medium, moderate, fast, with Daniel saying, yep, exactly.
So to go back to the sitting down, I can't stand up on my kayak. It's not because my kayak won't hold me. It's because I physically can't stand up because of my injury.
Same.
But working a jerk bait, I have found that the biggest key to doing it from sitting down in a kayak is you got to have slack line. So when you make that twitch, don't reel up all of the slack. Let it have more slack line, because it will get more of a side-to-side action, and it will do more action instead of having it like, so the guys in boats can do that. Like Jeremy was talking, if you're standing up, you can twitch it down, and you're creating slack by how much more you can move the rod. On the side-to-side, you have to be really cognizant of more slack in the line to let it do its thing. So I learned how to do that last year, which was really awesome.
And when it comes to jerk baits, you kind of match the hatch a bit. If the water's a little bit stained, I'll go with this like off bone. It's almost like a yellowish tint to it. If it's really clear, I'll go with, the kind of pearl white, and I've got a mix of like 6 Cents, the Berkeley Stunna. I think it was a Hank Cherry that won the classic on two back to back, so, but there's, you can find them again in all your price points, whether it's Walmart or, you want to spend, higher dollar money. It's all on what you feel like. But
Guggen makes them too. They've come out into the jerkbait world. And so if you're a Guggen guy,
which is funny because I've always liked their soft plastics, but I never really cared much for their hard stuff. But
they have somebody who's really good.
Full disclosure. I actually signed my contract with Monster Bass today. So there's 2 brands that I don't talk about anymore.
Oh, gotcha.
You just name one of them, and then the company associated with them is the other.
It's all good. It's all good. See, that's the cool thing about being the third of the Freedom Squad that's unaffiliated.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
I was just throwing it out there, but it's
no. Now, one of the other ones I like, because again, we're still dealing with cold water. If you're not throwing a jig, you're not trying to catch big fish. I've got a finesse jig on right now. This one's a smaller one, but I've also got I've got heavier ones as well. But again, throwing and dragging a jig, be it, if, like I said, again, it's about back to the water clarity. This was more of a natural creek, it's more natural colors. If the water is muddy, black and blue is what I live by. And it seems like some of the first and biggest bass of the year I catch are on a jig. If you watch my video if you go back and watch the first couple of videos I basically put out every year, you'll see the same pattern with the baits. Last year, I added the big blade chatterbait. and that basically took the place of like a Colorado bladed spinnerbait, which is still a great option. You know, a black spinnerbait with a Colorado blade on it in stained water will catch you fish. I was testing my thought process of the big blade. And it's funny because I don't have the one I actually caught fish with because it's out in the truck on a rod from, you know, when I was going to try to go fish. But the big blade, again, you're giving them that vibration. You're giving them dark colors to contrast that muddy, you know, water that looks like, you know, your wife's coffee, you know, just to have that contrast for those bass. But big blades for vibration, like on this one, or like I said, a Colorado or even a double Colorado, you know, spinnerbait are other good options as well. It's really dependent on the weather, the how much sun or overcast it is, and then the color of the water. You got to kind of be prepared and to deal with, you know, each different situation. You know, adapt and adjust to catch those fish. But oh boy, I can't wait.
So I got a question for Jeremy, sir. Okay,
Yeah.
remember when we first started fishing together? What did I say I hated to fish with? A jig. You remember that?
I thought you said artificial bait.
No,
Okay.
no, a jig. What was the jig you told me to tie on if I had any?
Strike King Bitsy Bug.
The Strike King Bitsy Bug. You want to tell everybody why that is?
Because anybody can catch fish on them. They're small, compact, lightweight, and they just get the job done.
Right. There's a reason. So I did catch a fish on the Strike King Bitsy Bug.
Now, I will say I start the year with bigger jigs first. And the reason is you have to fish it slower. You want to get it on the bottom and you barely want to move it. So a little bit heavier jig. But as the water heats up, that's when I go to my favorite, which are the finesse jigs, like the Bitsy Bugs, anything in your 1/4 ounce, your 3/8. But early in the season or actual winter time is when I will actually fish heavy jigs. I mentioned throwing the double Colorado baited spinner baits. I wanted to prove last year that a big blade chatterbait, I wanted to prove to myself, because Mike knows I throw jigs, I throw spinner baits. The Terminator spinner bait was what I used to live off of when he and I were fishing. But, you know, so I'm all about those big bladed spinner baits. But I had to prove to myself last year that my thought process of the big blade chatterbait would be effective, because I had a lot of people tell me that they won't catch no fish, but it performed exactly as I thought it would in that early season. All right, I got to stop and read a comment from Joy. She says, FYI, I've been doing research. Jeremy needs to make pink baits. Ostracized by much of the male population, pink is overlooked in the fly tying community in favor of more neutral colors found within the natural world. However, pink has a special characteristic that many fishermen are unaware of. Fish love pink. All right, so I'm going to let Jeremy comment on that. I'm going to grab something real fast.
I just happen to have some pink color for soft plastics that I'm going to be doing a whole line of pink baits. So good, sis. That you're right.
But what are these? What are these? Fishermen are not averse. They've also got a color called bubblegum. Bubblegum stickworms. Oh, we did have another question from Fisherman 83, and Jeremy, throwing this to you. What trailer do you use for the Strike King Bitsy Bug?
I already answered that, but it's a baby D-bomb.
Okay.
Yeah, but
what if you don't have like a baby D-bomb, what else would you put on it?
Well, I've cut off the end of a torn up blue fleck power worm, use about that much of it off the back to give it a little swim and kick tail action.
So the ribbon tail part.
Or you can actually throw it without a trailer and they catch fish. That's one of the few I will say, you know, you can fish with a trailer, without a trailer. You could go old school with the pork pork rind frogs. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
that's
don't
back old
have-
school.
I don't have my bait wall set back up from when I hung that picture back up, but I have a ton of bubble gum. But again, to answer that question about the small trailers, I love the baby D-bomb. The missile baits also makes the mini D chunk, I think it is, which is very nice. Man, there's tons. I've got a lot. I've got a lot of really small trailers that work very well.
Does Z-Man have the new little, like, do they have somebody's got like a mini craw?
Yes.
Like it looks like an actual crawdad. Is that from Z-Man? I can't remember.
Well, I was catching them on a little blue fleck goodness the other day. So I did these in using blue fleck worms that I remelted that were used. So you could even throw those on a bitsy bug. And that's why I was throwing the methylate. I will be fishing a lot of these on the river. But then I also have this copper color. It's almost like a raspberry pink. But yeah, all of these are good colors for catching fish this time of year.
Mm-hmm. And again, it goes exactly back to what Gramps said of water temperature and water clarity.
Yep.
But
although I will throw red or orange in clear water, in stained water, in muddy water, all across the board, this is the time of year that red and orange will work great.
Got something in my eye. Sorry, chat. Okay, so we've covered jigs, crankbaits. What else would you throw? Spinner baits, because pre-spawn they're starting to feed on the shad again.
Underspins, swim jigs.
Swim jigs, okay. I mean, basically, like when do you switch over to fishing your Berkeley worms? At what point in the year do you go from that? Is there a transition, or can you fish a worm all the time?
I can fish a worm year round. I've caught them in the dead of winter. I've caught them, every season. I have that kind of confidence in it.
Yeah, I think the most people will wait till almost like summertime, post spawn, when it heats up and the bite is slower. Again, Jeremy will throw it year round.
But it's like,
what about you, Gramps? What do you so when you go away from this more of the spring, early or late winter, early spring, when do you switch over to your more normal baits of like the chatterbait or things that you're going to throw all the time through the summer and fall? Like
realistically after the spawn, when the water's getting into the warmer, the fish are more active. That's me. I'm a power fisherman, so I'm generally not about patience. I want to cast and retrieve, kind of like you throwing a crankbait. It's just you want those reaction bites, and then you have that in the spring until summer when the water gets really hot, and then they kind of slow back down and go deep again. You have those periods in the spring to summer, and then it's all cyclical, but you have like your periods where fishing is really fire in the spring and the fall, and then in the summer when it gets hot and they go deep, or in the winter when they go deep and they're not moving as much as but for me, I'm all about any bit that when they're active, I want that jackhammer, because I'm not patient enough to sit in a spot like Jeremy is and fish it. I want to move. I want to beat the banks. I want to keep moving around. And the guys generally who have the patience to sit still and fish a spot to catch the fish out of it will do very well. Jeremy has that patience with the worm to be able to do that. He'll pick apart a spot and pull every fish that's in there out of it. I might catch one, and then I'm right back down the road,
Right. And I think I'm in between. My style is in between both of you.
Yeah.
Because I don't have as much patience. I've got a little bit more. But no, I don't. I've seen him sit on a stump and make hundreds of casts on one single stump. And I don't have that kind of.
Because he knows the fish will move up and reload. Right. There's a reason there why the fish will do it. But yeah, it's like when that water starts warming, and it's like when we start and when we stop, like Micah said, 45 degrees and up and moving baits. Mike fishes pretty much the same way I do. It's like, it's time to go.
But yeah, and I think the other thing too is, and you mentioned it earlier, you got to match the hatch. And if you don't understand what we're saying when we say match the hatch, in the spring on your lake, right before the spawn, wherever you are in the country, right before the spawn, all of those fish are going to be gorging to store up food and energy. If they're eating bluegill, you don't throw shad color, right? If you don't have shad in your lake, or if you don't have an abundance of shad, you throw a bluegill pattern. If you have shad, find out what type of shad and the size that they're eating. And it just happens last year on Pisgah, they were eating 4 to 8 inch shad. No joke, 4 to 8 inch shad. I got pictures of one with one stuffed down its throat. And they were feeding on big profile spinner baits. Like I threw a half ounce Strike King spinner bait with big willow blades, and they were smashing it. That's why the jerk baits come in different sizes, not only for the depth, but for the different profile for the bait fish that you're fishing in. So
yeah, and everywhere in the country is a little bit different. You have different, we have lakes that don't have perch in them. We have, some where there's not much shad. Yeah. There's not much shad in there, and the main forage is bluegill. I have others that are pure shad. It's just one of those. It's just one of those things where each body of water you visit, and that's why that's why a lot of time we get kind of you might get picked on a bit for carrying too many baits with you. But if you're going someplace you've never been before, you got to have a little bit of variety. It's like you see these pros travel around. Bunch of the guys are heading down to Lake Murray this week to pre-fish for the next KBF event. They're going to have a bunch of different stuff with them because if they've never been there before, they got to figure out what those bass want, and then they'll downsize on, actual tournament day once they kind of get it dialed in. But that's the cool thing about being able to, that's the puzzle. That's one of the reasons why we love fishing is it's all about solving that puzzle to see what, you start figuring out what bass want, and then you try to figure out what the bigger bass want, and that's part of the game. And that's why we're always in pursuit. And, I'm still wanting to chase big fish.
Well, look at all the people that were throwing like Yamamoto Senkos or that a version of that down in Florida. It was pre-spawn or moving into the spawn, and they were catching the hell out of them on them. So there's a time and place where things just really shine. And there again, that's why I will use a stick bait or a stick worm earlier, and depending on what I'm going to do with it is when I decide if I'm going to throw one or the other.
Oh yeah, most definitely. And it's like, we saw, just if you watched, anybody who watched the 10 tournament, the 10 Invitational going into the 10, a lot of the guys were catching them in different ways. Glenn ended up winning the 10 Invitational, and he was catching them all on a little punching, deal. And then a few days later, the guy who actually won the 10, it was almost 100% frog bite, that early in the year. And he blew it up, fishing them on a frog. I did not check and see there was a guy who put up 108 inches in a bass tournament last week. I think it was the Hobie BOS. And I meant to go look and see what he was catching them on. But I mean, you're dropping 108 inches in one tournament, in a day. That's just insane. That's a lot of big fish.
I don't remember what they said he was catching them on.
Yeah, I meant to look that up and talk about it too. But that's the kind of stuff I like watching these guys in the tournament, just to see what they're, the variety that they're throwing, but when they're throwing them and what kind of water too.
Right. Okay. What other
Yeah,
sneaky
hey.
spring tips do you have, Jeremy?
Oh, I've pretty much shared them all. Like I said, I'll be throwing underspin a lot.
Yep.
Especially after I got the inside information for beaver bottom. I have a whole new approach to it. So
hang on. Wait a minute. You got some inside information on beaver bottom.
Well,
you ain't gonna talk about it here.
That. Maybe I did. Maybe after I catch a couple 21s, 22s, then I'll fill you in on a secret.
That's bull crap.
But he's not going to put that out here where a bunch of grubby guys are going to be watching either.
I will say, Matt, you'll be with me most of the time, so
I know.
we're going to see it.
Yep.
When are you picking your yak up?
Next week.
Okay, good. So you're going to have the yak within a week, so that
I was all ready to go get it, and then when I got up this morning, and I was like, my heated jacket was on high, and I was still chilly. I was like,
oh no, yeah, it was cold.
Yeah, so we're going to wait just a tad bit longer. We are
signing up for March, right?
Do what?
We're signing up for the March challenge, all three of us.
I am.
I'm already signed up. So
okay.
Yeah, I signed up for Catch 22, the March challenge, and then
What's
I'm
up,
in.
Debo's?
Yeah, Debo's in the house. What's up, good sir?
What's up,
Another
Debo?
one of the bearded bandits is in the house. Welcome, Debo. If you guys want to see some good reviews, a good variety of tackle talk, some good bank fishing tips and whatnot, be sure to go check out Debo's Fishing for sure. He does a great job. Does bait making as well, and awesome spray painter of crankbaits too. It's pretty cool to see how we talk a lot about fishing therapy and this and that too. There's a lot of therapy that you can do off of the water. Debo utilizes he's taught himself to paint crankbaits as part of his, and it's one way he can relax and have a good time. And Jeremy, actually, you know what? Talk about some of the therapy that you've been doing, this week. You did a little YouTube short on it, but talk about some of the in-house therapy that you've been using this week.
So JT brought up the do it molds, the soft plastic stuff, and he kind of turned it over to me to play with. So I always save all my baits through the season and put them in a big gallon-sized bag. And I just spent the last couple of days making baits, trying to figure out some new things that I haven't tried before, using the colors. Way back in the day, I used to do a lot of custom colors, and back when top pour was not like a big thing. Everything was top pour if you didn't do injection, which mostly the companies did back then. So I like the fact that they make it sound special, but to me, that's the way it all started. So anyway, I just got in a groove and I started making baits. Posted a YouTube short of all the baits that I did over the last couple of days. And it just really got me focused on what I'm trying to do for this year. And therapeutic, yeah. I didn't deal with life while I was doing that. So thoroughly enjoyed myself the last couple of days.
That's all pretty cool. I'm gonna work on making some jigs. Of course, that's my problem. You guys, remind me often because I need to prioritize fishing more this year because I've always got some other video to make. But I'm gonna have to take a break this week and study for my drone test. Good news is,
Jeremy, throw your YouTube link into
here. Give me one second. So you can't Sandwich Searcher set me up with this little pack of Ned heads in all different sizes, and then put some skirt material in there for me, so I can actually tie Ned jigs to use with those katana crawls that I've been making. So shout out to him. Thank you, Bobby. I appreciate it. And my YouTube channel is at Jeremy Hickman.
Yep. I just dropped that in the chat.
Appreciate
so Jeremy's
that.
going to work on this year, start building up, remembering to post to Instagram, and then he's going to start working on learning how to build up some YouTube content as well. So be sure to give him a follow and subscribe to his channel, and Yep, Diggs like, yeah. Wendell actually called me, or Darren actually called me on his drive home, was giving me some telling me that the stuff that we were using to study from was actually valid and good. So that was a good comfy thing. I just need to stop making videos long enough to because I can't stop. It's like I got this list of things I need to do, and then I keep saying I want to get it done, but I'm going to get it done so that throughout the year, then we can just go fish and have fun and do some other stuff too.
Of course, they keep mentioning you're going to be down to fishing a frog before long.
Oh yeah, we definitely have to. Where did I literally just posted? He asked about the drone. I actually have a DJI drone. I picked up. And we talked about this in the last live, but I picked up a DJI drone, a new DJI camera, and then I have the DJI microphones, so that when we are out on the water, we can do a little better job of catching, audio from everybody. So if I'm fishing with these two boys, then I can mic them both up, and then I can talk into my camera that's behind me, and then I can record their conversations as we're all three talking, so that you pick up, you don't have to hear us. So I'm gonna have it all set up.
Now I'm gonna have to filter myself out on the water.
But you do that anyway.
No,
Mr.
not
Twitch.
on Twitch. I do not. I'm 100% live.
Well, yeah, but you know what?
That
stuff
stuff can go. The little ribbon that we do. So I'm gonna have to have to rein it in and remember. Oh yeah, you got to be professional because we're on the Gramps stream.
Mike's telling me to go to Boggs and throw a frog, boys. Been there, done that. They still don't want it.
He's thrown a frog everywhere.
It's God does not want me to catch a frogfish until it's time. And that will probably be, with my luck, it'll be May 5th and too late.
Oh, you got to catch it by Cinco de Mayo?
Yeah, or yeah, if I don't catch it by my birthday, then El Christmas Party Gone Bad gets tied on, and that's all I can fish.
Until you catch a fish on it?
Yep.
I guess. Oh, Mike, I'll tell you what, Mike, I've been to so many places that I've literally sat between these two when fish are hitting frogs. They'll catch them, and the fish will just come up and either spit mine out. I'll come back and set the hook on a bunch of grass. This has been a 2-year bunch of. God does not want me to catch a frogfish until it's going to be my PB. That's got to be what the answer is.
Doug Hemlick, how can you tell if I am live on Twitch? Well, if you create a Twitch account and you go over and turn on notifications on Twitch, it'll tell you as soon as I go live. And I try to put out on Instagram if I'm going to go live, but pretty much anytime we're down at Beaver Bottom or Pisgah or anywhere after work, pretty much every night once it starts getting warm and we're in the fishing season again. So, but to be
real, Jeremy, tell them where I'm going to catch a frogfish at in at least in April or probably March.
Well, it'll either be on Gunnersville. It'll be somewhere around Huntsville. I'm going to say that because
no, I'm not. I'm going to catch this fish before we even get down there. I'm not waiting that long.
Well, where are you going?
I know where he's going. Crane.
Where's the first frogfish you caught last year, dude?
Crane.
Yeah, I wasn't thinking that. I thought you had said it was going to be Gunnersville, but then I thought Chad.
Oh no, I'm not gonna wait. I mean, if it happens down there, yes, but no, I'm true to my word. I told these guys I'm gonna fish it as soon as when we think a frog bite will start. And last year you proved it was like first thing. So if those in what we noticed, the pads were starting to top when we were out there on the water. So unless that place is dead, because I haven't fished seed tick since the fish kill last year.
Right.
And so I'm gonna go hit the honey hole first.
I don't think that counts. I don't think that counts because you can't use it for catch-22. You can't use it for.
You want to correct yourself, Mister?
Yeah, no.
You can use it. You're wrong.
The catch-22 anywhere thing, but not for the Indiana Black Bass Challenge. You can't.
That doesn't matter. I'm signed up for all of them.
My goodness.
Are
we going to get with this on a technicality?
I donated 4 so far. I'm in the NE 22. I'm in the free for all, and then I'm in Illinois and Indiana. So it'll be official. It'll be on the catch board. Hey, you can go hop in your pond across the street if you want to. You know what I'm saying?
My problem with that is they're this freaking big.
Hey, a frogfish is a frogfish. Okay, and I want you guys to tell me if this is legal because I want the consensus of the chat tonight. So I picked up. It's bad enough that I already own every frog on the damn market.
Have you boiled them?
But tell me, do these count?
Oh, the flapper tail ones? Is that hollow body? Yeah, they're
spros. They're hollow body frogs.
Yeah, those count. And bro, you remember the year before when we was on seed tick and I had one similar to that they tore it up. Yeah, those count. And yes, on seed tick, yes, that will get the job done.
Debo, I couldn't tell you if they fixed the weight or not. I just bought frogs.
Debo, he would know the difference.
I'll put a poll up in the community tab tomorrow.
I think those will count, but we need to figure out the boundary waters here.
No,
and it's got to be on film too.
Well, I'll film it for sure.
And Mike was saying, get a ribbit. Now, see, he can catch fish on those.
Yeah, that's the whole thing is I can catch them on the toads all day.
Yeah,
it's these stupid hollow body ones that they keep
No, I don't remember Debo's. No, right, me neither. Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. So I'll put a poll up tomorrow. Do the spro, flappy frogs. Do they count?
I'll allow it. I'll allow it.
Because what I'm saying is they're hollow body frogs. They're not the rivets. So
because it's still you're still going to miss them just as much. It's okay.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, my thinking is I still want to catch one on the Merca frog because that's a gotta be.
But here's the other thing. Let's just for some reason, let's say your GoPro doesn't record the bite, the landing, the fight, and getting it in the net, in the boat, on the board. If it doesn't catch that, okay, you can't call us up with something and say, "Hey, I just caught my frogfish." That's not gonna work. That's not gonna work.
Not Mike. I've already caught him on buzz baits with frogs on the back. I've done all the rest. It's the hollow body frog that's been the running joke for the last 2 years. Again, I'll put 2 full seasons. Had 4-pounders jumping out of the water, smacking at him on the phone with Jeremy, celebrating the victory.
Oh, I got one! I got it! Oh, you son of a! I think that's the first time I've actually heard you cuss on a video.
Yeah, I know. I couldn't let that one. I couldn't edit that one out. But.
I know. They all said that if you mic us
and
up,
of course, everybody wants to tell me how to fish it.
Yeah,
trust me. There's not a frog. There's not a technique that I haven't done.
He got the master class in person with Chad, and then he got it again at the boat show because Chad had a frog.
Then I heard
Chad had a frog that he was pitching around at the boat show.
Then I had to hear from Flukemaster. But like I've said since day one, it's either going to be a dink or donk. It's going to be one or the. It's going to be one or the other. I'm full confident. But like I said, I don't think I'll start with these. I think America Frog will be the first one I throw, just out of general principle.
Right.
Because, if there's one I want to catch it on first, it's going to be America Frog, and it's a
Right.
Spro, so it's good. I probably will follow the tips that we were given in the master class prior to, but it's if not, then I'm going to be stuck not ever throwing a frogfish, because we all know, and I'm going to tell y'all, I need to have a contest. That's what we need to do. I should do a thing where, somebody picks the day. Well,
who's the closest to the day that you catch your first frog?
No. We can't do that, because nobody ever knows just when I'm gonna go fish. We should do a contest where people have to guess the closest one guess to the size of my first frogfish. And then I will give away every single one of these pieces of that I have to the winner, because I will never throw them again, because I will go back to throwing my buzzbait all the time.
So Diggs Outdoors. Okay. That's cool, but I don't understand. How have you not figured out a Hellraiser? Bro, that's the easiest thing in the world. You just throw it out and bring it back in like a
Yeah, you can't. You can only fish it one way, because
no, you can fish it another way, because you can get a phone call in the middle of it and let it fall to the bottom, and you get a fish on it that way too.
Okay, but to be fair, I did find that another very effective technique is to start and just rip it, and it will literally tear out of the water. And and I noticed this when a second bass was trying to come after the one of the fish that I caught. But if you can pull it, reel it back like you would a buzzbait, but if you also keep it on a tight line and just rip it, and then keep up with it with a fast speed reel, it almost tears it out of the water, but it looks like a bait fish is being chased by a bass. And so I get the feeling that another that technique, another fish will come try to hit it and try to take it.
But it's still
Sly Fox 23 in Indiana is very, very rare. I mean, they're you might see one or two go on a tournament board each year. They're here, but it's super rare. I mean, my PB on a catch board is like 20. What did we say, Jeremy? 21? I think 21 is my biggest.
It was 21 and a quarter, I think.
It's either 21 or 21 and a quarter too. So, I mean,
I've got some work to do, because I still haven't caught one over 20.
Yeah. I mean, it's
Lynn Yester sent me a picture yesterday, Matt, of her 21 and a quarter. It's her PB.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you got to catch up.
Yeah, I think my biggest on a catch board, and I feel like my actual Indiana PB, which is 6.87, was probably a 22, probably a 22. But we didn't have catch boards back when I was, that's back when I was fishing, in the Bass Club and all that too. But the 23 in Indiana is very rare. Actually, I think the moving waters fish last year was, it was probably
22 and a half, wasn't it? Or
22 and a half.
And I think that was Glenn's 22 and a half off of Bluegrass.
It could have been. Yep.
That day that he set the Fishing Chaos record, or KBF record for a day.
Yep. So, but I'll put up another poll, and then we'll do it. So we'll have a contest, and then whoever gets the closest in inches to the frogfish that I catch. So make sure you look at all the comments, because the first one who enters it, their guess that they get it too. So we'll do that, and then I'll give away every single one of these damn frogs. And I mean, I've got Debo has sent me frogs. Matt has donated. I've got a couple Spros. Well, I'm gonna lie. I'm gonna go back on my word. I'm gonna keep the Freedom Frog, and I'm gonna keep the Merry Christmas Party Gone Bad Frog, because how could I not? I will keep the original one that I got in the unboxing and chastise Rick about. That'll forever stay up here on the wall, and then go on the Christmas tree each year, just because.
Well, and then we can still all just keep sending him frogs. Let's just be honest about it.
Yeah, and they'll go into the veterans packages, and then veterans everywhere will catch their biggest fish on a frog way before I ever did. So, yeah.
What's up, NATO 4?
Got all kinds of people in the house tonight.
Make sure y'all smash that like button. Like, don't smash it. Just do the DDT on it. Come in from the top rope, a flying elbow on that like button, and share this stuff to all your social media outlets so that we can get some more exposure on Freedom Squad. Please.
Yeah, but again, we saw Nate at the boat show too, and it was like I said again, that was such a cool experience. And again, the better in the future, and you guys motivate me again with this whole weight loss thing, because these two will tell you if it's a long walk from a parking lot, it's just hard for me to make that walk. And I think Jeremy and I parked in the worst place possible and walked like the half a mile in, and I was wore out before we got there. But I mean, just seeing everybody at the boat show was amazing and awesome. And, now that I've actually more or less recovered, and the great thing is my knee held out really well. It was just my feet that were killing me.
But we got him a chair. We had him all.
Yeah. But, we walked around and talked to a bunch of people, and, I was on my feet a bunch, but that's cool. But again, this just, motivates me to be able to do, like when we do our Freedom Squad get together this summer, that I can be on my feet, and be fishing and sitting and shooting the breeze and whatnot too. But you guys motivate me to want to get out and go do more too. So I'm actually, for the first time in a few years, back in the gym on the elliptical machine again. I'm right now, I'm just doing it 1 day a week. And then I think next week I'll be on it 2 days a week. And I'm just, eating better and getting stronger too. So you guys motivate me more. I'm telling you guys, more than you ever know. You guys have made me want to get past being chair bound all the time, because I work all day in a chair. I come home and edit videos in a chair all night. And, the fact that, we talk about the different therapy where Jeremy and Matt deal with a lot of, therapy for mental stuff too. While I don't deal with that, I have a lot of physical, disabilities that, impacts me. And, I say that knowing that they're both, jacked up as much or more physically as I am, but each of us in our own ways. But, I'm the one who let it become where it basically chair bound me. And now that especially that I'm fishing with these two, with Bobby, with the crew and the folks that, yeah, I know, Mike. The problem is I live on a hill. When I walk down the hill, I have to get back up. But that is true. And then, I do have a lot of the hills around here to be able to walk in. And, but it's just one of those things where you guys are motivating me to get out there and do more too. I see my buddy Osiris in the chat too, another Marine Corps veteran who, like he said, sitting in a chair, and then he got where he was out running marathons, and then, get back to it too. So Zach, I want to see you getting stronger again too, buddy. And, I want to see you in a kayak as well, because Zach likes to fish as well. Yep. So good, like Guggen Slayer said, he's down 50 pounds in a few months, and it's work. Kayak fishing and work is a big motivation for me too. So again, we all work together, keep heading in that right direction. I don't beat myself up for going off my diet for a day or two, as long as I'm, I might gain a pound and then I'll lose a couple of pounds, and it's a back and forth kind of thing. But as long as I keep heading in the general direction, and I'm not 340 pounds like I was last summer when I almost sank the damn NAR, we're working in the right direction, to get closer to 200. And, I'll keep at it too, but you guys are a big motivating factor in that as well.
You're a good boy, Bullet.
Yeah. Bullet's like, Dad, you've been on the show for a long time.
Yeah, he's noticed, or he's let me know.
Yep.
Because you're doing such an awesome job, Jeremy. You're like, he keeps saying he's the best looking one. We all know I am, but we let Jeremy think he is. It's okay. It's okay.
See, we should have a poll.
And we'll Lord. Yeah, we're going to poll a bunch of dudes and the 3 ladies that are here. Because we got what? Yeah. I don't think a bunch of dudes are going to answer that poll. Get one of the big balls that you sit at while at your desk. That way you have to keep your body moving, burning calories. That's a good idea too. A lot of the folks have the standing desks and whatnot. I can't do that as much, but I do try to do more. I will tell you this. I'm getting my steps in every day. Joy, Shurston, get your Fitbits back out. Let's get to work, ladies.
What are you calling them out for?
Why? Because we used to do Fitbit things where we would all go out and
Oh, you do Fitbit challenges?
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. So
let me tell
Joy said that, and then I just remembered that too. So it's like, we can all use a little, motivation, because Kirsty used to walk around, and they actually had my dad out walking miles to get these challenges going.
All right,
too.
what's your story, Jeremy?
if you sit and swing your Fitbit, it counts steps, or you put it on the dog.
You know, I know someone who might do that. It's this guy right here.
Yeah.
No, I chug like a gallon of water at work a day. I can't sit for very long. I have to get up several times.
Oh,
Mike's 100% right, though. I actually quit smoking after my second heart attack years ago, but sitting is the new basically detriment to the body, and I can attest to that 100%. So that's why I keep chugging water, make myself get off my seat, because if not, I'll just get absorbed into work or sit here editing videos and not remember too. Yep, you can whip that booty all the time, because for me, if you're getting 20,000 steps a day and I start out with 5 and I work my way back up to 10, then that's still a win for everybody. And Zach literally nails it on the head right here. Loss of mobility equals loss of freedom. Being that we're the Freedom Squad, we need to be all about that freedom too.
I still hurt
100%. So I appreciate it. Blue, what drink? I knew Kara was going to spot check me. This is Gatorade Zero. Keep my electrolytes up, because I do chug a lot of water during the day, but I do like the Gatorade Zeros for keeping the electrolytes up as well. It also helps me. Zero. Yeah, it also helps me with I try. Yeah, I filled my Yeti up and then didn't bring it. Oh, I put it back in the fridge to get cold. That's right. But 100%. But again, remember, we're all here to support each other and grow each other. With the main reasons why we love the Freedom Squad Friday lives, we love having guests and stuff on too. And you'll see the live streams change down the road. And we'll talk about that in the future. But the Freedom Squad Fridays will continually be us three. I'm going to work on changing like the Gramps live format, because I want to also be able to push those to a podcast down the road. And we'll talk about those more too. Those will be more focused discussions where we might have a guest. I want, one of the things I'd love to be able to do is to reach out and, have those guests like KVD, Rick Clun, the other anglers around that are really Matt's having joined those lights, to be able to get those other, anglers on that we can talk to, but also have a focused podcast that we can then put out to, to be able to, to have those discussions and put them out on, Apple Podcasts and, all the different Spotify's and all that stuff too. So we're going to work on doing a format like that as well. Frank was asking about my heart attacks. So mine are a little bit different than most people. I was still skinny when I had my first two. And I actually gained all of this weight when I quit smoking after those. But it was just one of those things when I was 35, my arteries, they weren't staying clean. And it was, a lot of, eating junk and, working and stress and, not taking care of myself at the time as well. But even back then, it was just, one of those things. And then 4 years after that, my two main arteries, one was at 98% and the other one was 97%. The doctor called that one the Widowmaker. But then, I've been on medication and whatnot, since then. And, I've been, even as big as I am, I'm not even diabetic yet. So it's the good Lord's been watching out for me there. But it was one of those things last summer when I knew I got too big, especially around my birthday. And anybody watch that Mayhem video where I was out trying to qualify for the national championship. And I was out probably from the time that I was with Matt from his birthday to my birthday. I weighed more than I had ever weighed before. And it was physically, you guys could hear me every time I was walking anywhere. So it was one of those things where, I smoked years ago and quit, but I was too sedentary and not moving around as much. And yeah, so it was just one of those odd things with me when I was younger. And the good Lord kept me going, and then got on medication and got all of that under control, at least my blood pressure and things like that as well. But then since then I've just put on too much weight. So yeah, it's one of those things. And the boys will tell you I snore like a mofo because of my weight, because I didn't take my CPAP when we went to the
Oh, I took mine. I was
Yes, you
kind.
did.
I was kind.
You were, and I won't ever not do that again either. So,
but here's the other thing. I have probably done, because Jeremy's not really in it, because Jeremy's not overweight. Jeremy doesn't really need to lose weight. We need to keep Jeremy right where he's at, because he's in a good, healthy place mentally,
Yep.
physically, emotionally. He's doing great. But I push Gramps all the time, because I had to go on a new diet, and I keep asking him, "Hey, how you doing on that? Hey, what's up with the weight loss challenge? Hey, what are you doing?"
you know what? Keep up on that for me, because
that's the whole reason why we're doing this, was accountability.
Yep.
And
Yep,
if I
100%.
slack, let me know too. Like, I expect that to go both ways. So it's
Yep.
going to get annoying for me, because I'm kicking your ass.
Oh, big time. And I got to get back. I got to get back into it too. So I got back on the wagon this week. No cheat days. And even if I want to, if I want to have, like when we went to your place, it was mostly focused on meat.
Well, because that's the diet that I can have.
Yes,
but
exactly.
Yeah, so yeah. And even if you wanted to have some of the carbs, they were all low carb stuff. So it was good.
Yeah. And I generally walk away from the carbs anyway.
Pop-Tarts and keep them on the boat for when I go fish with Matt.
Okay. And that was my problem last year, dude.
Hey.
Whenever when I was pedaling most of the time, I always stopped and got Pop-Tarts, because I wanted that instant burst of energy while I was doing all that. Now that I'm in the Cadillac, there's not as much of the physical stuff. But that being said, I'm going to spend a lot more time in the paddle kayak as well this year, so that I get that upper body workout too. And I actually will probably make that my first trip out when I go out this year and go to KETCH too. So it's always fun having the big fish haul you around.
That's not how it works, Mike. That's not how it works, Mike.
No, I've shared rooms with Mike before. He's the one who taught me what snoring was.
Oh my goodness.
Oh yeah.
We've derailed.
Yes, we have, but that's okay. It's 9:02, and it's about time for us to get out of here and let everybody have back their Friday nights anyway.
And I think the boys will be home here soon. By the way, they're still staying at the house.
Oh, okay.
It's been amazing. Like,
when are they heading back home?
Sunday. They gotta go. They gotta
Sunday?
work until 5, and I don't know if they're coming back to the house, and I don't know what's going on. So
okay,
I don't know. It's been a pleasure to actually getting to know both of those guys even more and better.
Oh yeah,
like really, especially Gene. Getting to know Gene more and stuff, and it's been cool. Like, and I don't want people to think that I work for KBF or anything like that. No, I'm what I did at the Boat Sport and Travel Show, and for them staying here, it's because they're friends. Like, they're literally friends. All right. So these boys could come stay at my house anytime they wanted to, right? That's what friends do. It just happens to be different that they're both celebrities. You know what I mean? So,
but
and they don't see
it
themselves
too,
that way.
We want you guys, especially everybody out there too, because we're gonna, while you hear us talk about a lot about KBF and fish shops and all that too, we're also going to be, utilizing our time with those folks to build up Freedom Squad, because that is, with everything that Chad is doing with KBF and fish shops and Knucklehead, while we 100% believe in that, we also have a goal, and that's why the three of us are together, and that's to reach out and build the Freedom Squad around the country, so that we get out and get more people fishing, whether it's from the bank, the boat, a kayak, and share its therapeutic play, share the therapy parts of it that comes from it too, and let us all get together and help heal folks across the nation, because you have a lot of veterans, firefighters, police officers, everybody goes through a lot of crap, and whether it was in a foreign war or a pandemic or whatever, there's always something that that's been going on that you just want to put away for a minute. And when you got good friends like we have, like we are together, and then a lot of you guys out in the community, but and Mike's offering me a partner for the tournament. Bro, I ain't fished with you in a while. We need to get together and fish one anyway. So if you need one, holler at me, guys. You know me. Even when I'm fishing with Jeremy in my boat, I keep saying he's always going to be the one in the front because I like sitting in the back. It's just where I'm comfortable at, because I hate freaking trolling motors, except for the Cadillac. That's a different story. But again, realize too that we're working on building up Freedom Squad. We're going to work on doing some merch and things like that too, because again, we want to be able to raise funds for the various charities we like. Even if we become, something where we want to raise funds so we can have a get together and rent out a park and food and things like that too. Know that even when we're trying to fundraise, what those funds are for, it's going to be going to things that we're involved in. We're working with Monster Bass to get packages and things like that for different veteran events and things that's going on too. And we want to keep building this Freedom family, around, and it's like Pegleg's talking about, his grandfather was a CB in World War II. All of us, if you're not a veteran or fire, we all know somebody that works in these jobs that are not easy jobs. And, it's just one of those things, so that's what we're about. So, building up this fellowship, this Freedom fam, of folks that we love around. We could talk about it all day, but eventually we're gonna plan a get together here in around the Indianapolis area, and then maybe in the future down the road we'll try taking it on the road a little bit, because I think at some point in time we want to get down. We want to go back down to Huntsville. We want to go to other places as then
I'm going to be retired hopefully one day.
Yeah, I'm 5 years. I mean, 5 years from May 4th
and then some more
of this
traveling
year,
in
I
there.
will be retiring. Yep.
But
so that is my goal, is to build up to be able when Gunner's like, hey, dude. So with that said, Jeremy, give us a good night.
Good night, all.
Matt.
Hey, everybody, seriously, thank you. I know Gramps has already said it, but we appreciate and see the support. Love it. Love to see it. It makes me feel good. And I know I don't have, I'm not as active and stuff, but as what Gramps is and things, but just keep an eye out. We're going to get there. Don't forget to sign up for A, Catch 22. B, get in on that Knucklehead tournament.
We're gonna have some whole different. We'll totally focus on that.
I'm just saying, get in on that. Get in on that, because there's gonna be some fun to be had and some awesome.
And I'm
stuff.
gonna work on some prizes and things like that too. So we'll get talking a lot about that as we get closer to. But right now, our big focus is on Catch 22, because that's ongoing. That's what we want everybody this year. Again, we're fishing for Heroes on the Water. And we'll talk about the Knucklehead stuff as we get a little closer to the.
Oh, and you misspoke. The Murray tournament starts tomorrow morning. It's not next week. It's tomorrow morning.
It's tomorrow.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah, because they're here, and
Friday.
RJM Fishtails is the tournament director.
That's right. Just Glenn was driving down there today. That's right.
I just wanted to clarify but yeah, thanks from the bottom of my heart for all the support. That's it for me.
And again, every one of you that hangs out with us, and especially those of you who are donating baits, again, you can find my address in the About section in the community. If you want to mail them, if you want to meet up with one of us, feel free to do so. How many people are we up to now?
324.
So there we go. Catch 22 is blowing up, baby. That's going to be awesome. I hope we hit 1,000 by the end of the year. That'll be awesome. But we'll keep spreading the word. Again, thank you everybody for stopping in. Jeremy, Matt, thanks for joining me again tonight. Love the Freedom Squad Fridays, because this is just a free for all. We don't have to worry about guests and everything else. We can sit here and chat with everybody in the chat. And I love the interactions like that too. It makes for boring videos for people to watch later, but we don't care. These live streams are purely for you guys, and we love every minute of it too. So, yes, 100%. Thank you from the bottom of our hearts Freedom Squad Fridays are always fun. And remember, hey, folks, it's that time. It's that time. Get outside when you can. Make those memories. One cast at a time.
Freedom Squad.
Woo-hoo.